Hey guys, how's it going? I know I haven't been posting a lot of videos, but I want to start changing that a little bit. Um, Today I want to talk about you get a job offer, right? And let's say you get the job. Now what? And this came to me because a friend he's been doing an internship, and basically he was asking me how much should he ask, how much should he expect, and he was just giving me asking me questions about how he should approach this. So I started thinking about it, about how I do this whenever I get a new job offer, which hasn't been in a while, thankfully. I like my job right now. But like, there's a lot of thought that you need to put into this. Basically, mainly regarding how to discuss your salary, what your expectations, vacation time, all of that. Because at the end of the day, you can actually like negotiate pretty much everything in a job, and you should try to negotiate something that benefits you and like helps you work with the company and what you want. So basically, uh, you get the job, you get an offer. Then the most important thing is the salary. Now, how many hours you're going to be working? How many days of sick leave you will have? What is your average paycheck? So what I like to do whenever I get an offer, or whenever like somebody like asks me for like, hey, we might be interested in you, I look for like pay scale or like Glassdoor, and I look at the national average. Well, not the national, the state average of that city where the job is gonna be taking place. That way, like you have an idea of how much money your peers are doing, and like you also think like how much you are going to be making on average based on those on how much you should accept. Now salary is not the only thing. So for example, let's say this job that I have right now, it offers a good salary, but it's a little below the average salary on the nation. But at the end of the day, like for me, it's okay because the cost of living of the area where I'm at, it's super low compared to the rest of the country. So it like kind of evens out. So you need to consider all these factors. You cannot be like, oh, because they're paying me less, but yeah, but how much is the cost of living in that area? Or the opposite is true, like, oh, I'm getting so much. You could get an offer for, I don't know, 85, 100,000, but then if the cost of living per month is like more than 50% of your salary, it's like, I mean, per year is more than half of the cost of your salary, then like, well, you're not really making a lot. So you need to do like a profit versus negative balance sheet. Another thing that you want to consider is like benefits. So for example, yeah, maybe you're making a lot of money, but let's say your company doesn't provide any health benefits, which is a big thing for me personally. I do think that benefits are super important. Last year I was in the hospital for I got food poisoning, and basically the company covered most of it. Like it was like almost 2,000, and I paid like I think like 100 from my out of pocket or something like that. So it was pretty good. The same with like with vision, dental, we have access to that. So for me, that is very important. A lot of companies they also have like health programs. So for example, the last job that I used to work at, they would give you like I think $40 a month for a gym membership. So that was pretty good. So you need to consider all this stuff, and you need to see at the end of the day what is the balance, and you need to see how you can negotiate. The same with like sick days, vacation time. My company right now is pretty average, so it's okay. But for example, some other companies, like again the company that I used to work it at, and we would work a lot. Like we would work like from on average, I would leave like at 7 p.m. So it would be like 7 to 7 or 8 to 7, or sometimes I would leave from 8 to 9, something like that. So it was like stressful, and it was hard work. But the benefit was that every 2 weeks you would have like a Friday off. So for example, one week, I loved it because one week, one Friday you would get paid, the next Friday you will have it off. The next Friday you have it paid, then you have it off. So you need to consider all this stuff. How many hours you're working per week? And maybe you're making a lot of money, but you're working on average 60 hours per week. Is that what you want to do? Personally, for me, I want to have like a good balance of like 8, 8, 8. Yeah, like 8 hours working, 8 hours like to do my own thing, and 8 hours to sleep. And for the most part, I think it's gonna be very hard to find an engineering company that's gonna have that. Like just because the nature of the job of the work, you usually have to like stay longer to finish some projects. But like it's pretty good. It's I think on average I work like maybe between 42 to 46 hours per week, which for me is pretty good because I remember I had jobs that like you had to work like on average like 48, 50 hours. Uh, like I said, the pay might be a little higher, but I'm happy here. So you need to consider all this stuff, and you need to also one thing that I like to do. I like to write down things that I've done. So, for example, let's say you have a bachelor's, you write down the bachelor's. You did some research. What was your research on? You have your experience in this and that. You want to write all this down. Want to write down all your like best projects, all the things that you solve, all your skills, stuff like that, in a sheet of paper, and then have them arrange them in a good way to access them. So that way, like you can also print like your pay scale or whatever, and you can also like print your national average, your expectations of the job, and that's a good way to negotiate your salary and negotiate benefits. So, for example, it's not the same thing if I go to I don't know like a salary negotiation or like a review, like a yearly review for a raise or something, and I'm just like, hey, what's up? But if I bring like a folder with all the documents, with like data, like I express my point of view, like that makes a better point to the potential employer or to your boss of why you should be making more or why you should be making less or like a way to compromise. And it shows also that you're prepared and that you know your stuff and that they can expect that to apply to your job as well and work. So and it also like you need to like it's kind of like a game. You need to learn how to play the game with salaries and all this stuff because sometimes like a potential employer they will like kind of like play with your desperation. Like they will like take a while to even if they made the offer, they will take a while to like to offer a formal salary so that you reach out and they kind of like want to see how desperate you are and stuff like that. So you need to like learn how to manage all this stuff, do a little bit of research on the company, work environments and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, that also matters a lot. If the company is doesn't have a very good work environment, then you probably don't want to work there. And the same thing like if you have like a big turnover rate, a lot of companies, for example, some local businesses, some schools here. I mean, they offer really good benefits and they have a good salaries, but nobody lasts more than a year. So I mean, what is the point of taking a job there if you're not going to be there long term? You're going to be not going to be making any real experience and skills. So you need to consider all this stuff. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I have been MIA lately. I've been focusing on other stuff. So I'm sorry for that, guys. I will try to do more videos. I don't do a lot of engineering videos anymore because they just take longer and I'm tired from work. Right now I'm during my lunch break, so I decided to do this video. But if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and leave us a like. Have a good one. Woohoo!